All right, so my name is Joshua Holotu of Inshira FM and Love FM. And today I'm going to break down the Ghana Black Stars squad for the 2026 FIFA World Cup that will be happening in Mexico, USA, and Canada, as it was announced last night by Carlos Queiroz. And for your information, Ghana will be participating in their fifth World Cup after they participated the first time in 2006. That was 20 years ago. We subsequently went ahead in the 2010 World Cup to participate, and we went far into the quarterfinal. Then in 2014, we also played in that World Cup in Brazil. We exited the group stages. In 2018, we didn't go, but in 2022, we came back. We were in Qatar. We got knocked out of the group stage as well. But the high stakes nature of this World Cup demands that so much will be given by the Black Stars to the nation that is expecting so much from them. And so we're going to look into the analysis. And we already know that Ghana is in Group L with Panama, England, and Croatia. And the big man for the moment, there he is. He's in the person of Carlos Queiroz. And he took the job just a few months ago in April. And he was given the big task of helping Ghana to succeed at the FIFA World Cup. Now, let's look at the squad itself. And I like this graphic by Sporty FM. They try and categorize the players that have been called by their respective positions. So we have Benjamin Asari, Lawrence Atizigi, and Joseph Annan in post. Then for the defense, we have Derek Lucasen, Abdul Momin, Jonas Ajete, Gideon Mensah. We have Baba Abdurrahman, Ali Duseidu, Kojo Opon Pepra, Jerome Opoku, and Marvin Senaya, who is also a newcomer in the team. Let's look at the midfield. We have Thomas Partey, Kwesi Sibo, Elisha Wusu, Caleb Yirenchi, and then we also have Augustin Boache, another newcomer into the squad. Then we have the forwards in Jordan Ayew, we have Inaki Williams, Antoine Semenyo, Fatau Isayaku, Kamaldeen Sulemana, Prince Kwabna Edu, Enes Noama. We also have Christopher Babunsu and Brandon Thomas Asante. So many things are going around on social media and also in so many other spaces about what people think about the squad. There are differing opinions. People are sharply divided about who should be there, who shouldn't be there. As we go along, we're going to look into it and we're going to try and make sense of some of the names that are missing and why some people have also been given the call up into the Ghana Black Stars squad. So we are going to quickly move from there and look at what this particular presentation is about. We have a number of things that we are going to look at. We're going to look at the coaching dynamics and the GFA interference purportedly. We are also going to move from there, look at the key injury and absences that are going to affect the team. We are also going to look at even the weather advantage that the Black Stars may enjoy at the FIFA World Cup that is going to happen in the USA, Canada, and Mexico. And we all know that around June, July, the heat in the US is intense. And I think that is going to be a major factor that's going to influence the performance of teams at this World Cup. So these are the things that we are going to look at. But let's quickly fast forward and look at the coaching dynamics and the GFA interference. Now, you would recall that Carlos Queiroz took this job in April and he acknowledged the fact that this was a very difficult job for him to do. He came in just barely 6 weeks to the tournament. He has no particular context of Ghana and how our dynamics work, how our football works. He has to come and learn it from scratch, so to speak. And you also realize that he has zero squad familiarity, which is something that so many people are concerned about. But you would also remember that the GFA president in Keto Kreku once said that before any selection for the Ghana Black Stars to be done, he would make sure that he has to be there. And even if he is not around, he's going to send somebody that he thinks and believes has the right frame of mind to help in the selection. Make out of this what you wish to do. But so many Ghanaians believe that in terms of squad selection, he's interfering in it. But do you believe so? I think that is one thing that it's raising a lot of concerns and it's very contentious in this context. So let's also look at the fact that there's a repeat of the pattern where there are quite a number of names that we expect to be in the squad, but they end up not making it. You would recall that in 2022, before we played that World Cup in Qatar, everybody expected that we would see a certain Jeffrey Schlapp in the team. He missed out and his relatives were livid. The same way we've also seen this time around, Derek Kuhn, his absence from the team has sparked widespread controversy about why he should be there, why his performance merits a Black Stars call-up. So these are the things that are prevailing circumstances in the squad selection for the Black Stars. Now, the left back situation, which I think everybody wants to, hear about. Now, This is Baba Rahman. Baba Rahman plays for PAOK Thessaloniki, and we know and we understand that he hasn't been with the team for quite a while. But Carlos Queiroz has spoken to him and has invited him to come back into the team, and it looks like he's ready to play. I really don't know what some of you would say about this, but in all honesty, I believe that Baba Rahman gives us a lot of options. Yes, he's growing old. He is 31 years of age currently. He's 31 years, but the truth of the matter is that we need experience in this World Cup squad. He's played at the World Cup before. So I believe that when you bring such a player into the fray, it helps the team to get some experience, which I believe is something that we wouldn't get if we had called Derek Cohn. Because I agree also that Derek Cohn is a very good player. He plays for Union Berlin. Union Berlin is a good team, right? And he has age on his side. He's just 27 years. If he has to wait for the next 4 years to play his next World Cup, he would have been probably 31. But the truth of the matter is that between Baba Rahman and Derek Cohn, who would you send to the World Cup if you want to look at experience and somebody who has played at the global stage before? I would fancy my options in Baba Rahman rather than Derek Cohn. Yes, look at Derek Cohn's numbers, not too bad. You would also see that he has a good shot, you know, a good shot in his leg, right? He's able to advance forward if he's playing as if we are playing in the 3-back system and he's playing as a wing back. He gives us a lot of options moving forward. But like I said, experience really counts in a platform or on a platform like the FIFA World Cup. Now let's move quickly because we have a couple of things to do. The key injury absences. Now, there's one thing that's going to affect the Black Stars deeply in this particular World Cup, and it's the issue of injuries. Now, look, we are going to miss Mohamed Kudus, star boy. He plays for Tottenham Hotspur. And you can tell for sure that we are really going to miss him. In his absence, it looks like Augustin Boachi, who's a newcomer, is going to replace him. But just look at how Ghana is going to suffer because we don't have Mohamed Kudus playing for us. It means that one of our biggest threats moving forward is not available. So many teams are going to come into the World Cup and then they're going to pick this as a scouting report from Ghana. And I don't think it's going to go well for us. Look at Mohamed Salisu, one of our best centre-back pairings, at least for the last few years. He is not available. He's picked up an injury. And yesterday we received a big blow that Jiku, who has also been a standout performer, especially at the back for Ghana, is not going to be available for the Black Stars at the World Cup, which means our two trusted centre-back pairs are not going to be available. That spells a lot of doom for the Black Stars because the way we would have wanted to sit in the defensive, setup and play, we are not going to get that, which is really sad for the Black Stars. But if we want to move forward, there are other controversial exclusions. I thought that a player like Majid Ashimeru merited a call-up in this particular FIFA World Cup squad selection, but he didn't make it. We saw how he played against Mexico. He literally came onto the field and did so much work, but he seems to have not got a lot of favor in the eyes of the coaches, and it looks like other players are ahead of him in this particular World Cup. Look at Joseph Paintel. I think the biggest exclusion so far. And we all know what Joseph Paintel is capable of doing. In terms of attack, he's one of our best players. But Carlos Queiroz, from the information that I picked, looks like he fancied other players who are playing currently the Black Stars in his position when they play for the Black Stars. And it's something that we can argue all day about, but he's going to be a very big exclusion. Already we've spoken about Derek Cohn and how he's going to miss out. But in terms of the defense, Nathaniel Ajay, we saw him against Mexico. He did so well, had a standout performance, but he's not going to be there. Then we also have Midyama SC Salim Adams, who arguably is the best player in the Ghana Premier League this season, but it looks like he is also not going to make it. And I know so many people were clamoring for his inclusion because Midyama SC were going to benefit financially. But then it would also have made a case for the Ghana Premier League that we would have a player who would come from the Ghana Premier League to play in the Black Stars. But all of these players are not going to be available for Ghana at the FIFA World Cup. But let's look at controversial inclusions. Ernest Nuama has played barely 30. He has played at least, I think, 30 to 32 minutes this season, all season for Olympic Lyon. But he is going. He's just returning from an ACL injury. And many would have said that players returning from an ACL injury shouldn't be in the squad. But he is going with the team. The same as Baba Rahman, whose situation we've already discussed. Then another one in Abdul Momin, who plays for Rayo Vallecano. He's also been on a long layoff with injury. It's an ACL injury. So two players with ACL injuries coming back to play for the Black Stars. They don't necessarily have enough match fitness. But how are they going to play? I think that Carlos Queiroz would have to answer this question perhaps in his press conferences in the lead up to the World Cup. But if you ask me, I thought that this was a very risky move. It's a high risk and it's a concern. For Baba Rahman, I've already said it's justified. But if you want to add players like Enes Norman Abdul Mumin, it's quite tricky because you never know when they could get a relapse during the tournament. And it will mean that two of our players who are coming back from injury are going to get hurt again. So that's a big concern. Now, this means that our back four potentially in tonight's game against Wales and also in the opener in the World Cup against Panama may be a back four that have never played with themselves before. Because I've highlighted two different back fours here. I have Baba Rahman, Opong, Lucasen, and Ali Seidu in one set. Then I also have Baba, Abdul Mumin, Lucasen, and Seidu in another set. Make of this whatever you want to make, but these players have not played together in the Black Stars before. There has been no single game where we've seen these players play together. But this may be a potential situation at the World Cup because we have injury concerns. Jiku is missing out. We also have Salisu missing out. So it looks like this is what may happen. And when you look at it closely, you realize that Lucasen coming in is also one of the guys who didn't really have so much playing time, especially in the games against Austria and Germany. We didn't see him play so much. So how is that going to pan out? I think the game against Wales will give us an idea of what Carlos Queiroz may want to do, especially in the World Cup. Now, let's look at the 6 and 8 in the midfield situation. We have Thomas Partey, Kwesi Sibo, Elisha Owusu. We don't have Mohamed Kudus, we don't have Majid Ashimeru. It is very important that we manage the performance of these players who are going to be available. Thomas Partey, Kwesi Sibo, Elisha Owusu. I'm saying this for a couple of reasons. Thomas Partey, we know that he is not so fit in terms of his playing ability these days. When he moved to Villarreal, he got a couple of knocks here and there. He has not been too consistent. So you're coming to a high-stakes World Cup. You may want to manage him very well. But we have Kwesi Sibo and Elisha Owusu who are quite aggressive. They may get early yellow cards, and that spells doom for the Black Stars. It means the 6 and 8 position, we don't have so much options over there. Caleb Bianchi is coming into the midfield, but the question is, would he be able to balance, the midfield that looks like it's a bit ragged at this point? And that is why I was saying so much about Majid Ashimeru, that he had to be in there. And it would have helped us moving forward. Because when you look at the attacking options that we have, it's a bit overcrowded in there. We have Inaki Williams there. I think he's a very important squad member. Antoine Semenyo as well. Kamaldeen Sulemana, maybe. But Enes Nuama, Fatawi Sahaku, they are also very key squad members. But could we say same for Brandon Thomas Asante, Prince Kwabena Edu, and Christopher Babonsu? Maybe we could have sacrificed one of them for another midfield option that could have helped us a lot at the World Cup. But that's also something that's controversial and maybe contentious. Some may not agree with me. But I think that's what should have been done because we have too many attackers moving forward. And if we sacrificed somebody like Prince Kwabena Edu and we brought in a Majid Ashimeru, it meant that if we had yellow cards to people like Kwesi Sibo or Elisha Owusu in the second or third group game, he could have come in to help us. But at this point, it's difficult to see how that may pan out. This is my potential lineup for the game against Wales tonight. I believe that whatever happens in this game is going to be a big marker for Carlos Queiroz to pick something from, especially for the group opener against Panama on June 17th. And if you look at it closely, these are my tactical notes. Thomas Partey would be a deep line playmaker. Now, what he is simply going to do is that he's going to help the defense collect the ball from them and then search forward with distributions. Now, we have Kwesi Sibo and Caleb Bianchi. What they are simply going to do is that they're going to help with pressing and also with taking the ball from the opponent. So we have Caleb Bianchi who can do a lot of the movement forward. Try and see how he can get a lot of options for us moving forward. Kwesi Sibo as well, he's quite aggressive. He can take down some markers, get the ball and recycle possession. Now look at the front three of Semenyo, Jordan Ayew and Fatawi Sayaku. It is very important that we get a lot from Fatawi Sayaku, who is also capable of playing in the half spaces, so that we can get a lot of options for Jordan Ayew moving forward. The same for Antoine Semenyo. A lot of eyes will be on him. He needs to perform and perform very well, because if we get a stellar performance from him, then it means that there's a lot of options for us moving forward to get a goal, potentially in a game like this. That would help us to see what we can do at the FIFA World Cup. But let's look at the back four. One thing that will be tested tonight is their communication. We already know how instrumental Jiku and Salisu are. And it's not just because of their defensive prowess. When they sit in the back four, the way they communicate with the defense, with those ahead of them, and the way they also communicate with Benjamin Asari in post or whoever is going to be in post, is so critical, is so important. So that is going to be tested a lot tonight. The defensive ability and how they're able to communicate with one another. So that's one thing that we'll be looking for tonight. Then, like I said, Kwesisibo and Yirenchi, press and recover duo. We get Yirenchi doing a lot of the pressing and also the recovery, but you get Kwesisibo doing more of the pressing because of his aggression. And then Yirenchi can give us more options moving forward when we need speedsters to push the ball into the forward line and also get a goal from there. Now, when you look at the weather advantage, it is something that we already used to in Ghana, the heat that is going to be at the World Cup this particular summer, which is why we need to take advantage of that. In the deep end of the game, potential opponents are going to get tired. We already know Reece James, who is on record to have said that this weather is a very difficult weather. The English team would have to struggle to adapt. But I believe that in those times in the game, when they get tired, that is when Ghana can bring on fresh legs to try and conquer the opponent. So I think it's a very important factor, the weather that is going to be at this summer's World Cup. Ghana can take advantage of that, and it may help us to get some result. So Ghana's first game is on 17th June. Then we have England on 23rd, and then we have Croatia on 27th. If you ask me, I think that game against Panama is a crucial game that we need to win. If we win that game, it sets the tone for the Black Stars. We could get a draw from England, but against Croatia would be a very difficult one because that's the last group game. And normally the last group games are very difficult, depending on the results from the other games. So that's so important. Ghana must win that game against Panama. Once we win against Panama, it helps us to get a very good campaign. I think if you ask me that Ghana gets to the round of 32 and we get knocked out. But the thing is that our strengths are in the attack. So Semenyo is there, Jordan is there, Isayaku is there. Good guys moving forward. Thomas Partey is also an elite when he's fit. And the advantage of the weather is also there. So that's our strength. Our weakness is obviously in the back four. Inexperience, having played together, it's going to be difficult to see how they gel together. But in the game against Wales, we may see something like that. And today's game against Wales, I think that Ghana may get a draw. Worst case scenario is going to be a defeat for us. I don't see us losing by more than 3 or 4 goals, right? I think that we are going to do give a very good performance in today's game. And it's going to help us to see what we can do at the FIFA World Cup. I think after today's game, the controversy may either go up or come down, pertaining to the performance that we put up. But do you think the Ghana Black Stars can surprise you? Now, this is to you. You can write in the comments or wherever. Tell me whether you're going to get a surprise from the Black Stars at this World Cup, because we don't have a good squad. But sometimes we have heard on so many occasions that when so many things are not expected from the Black Stars, they go ahead to surprise all of us and give a very good performance. So do you expect a surprise, or do you think that the Black Stars are capable of surprising us? Thank you so much. Give me your comments and we'll continue the conversation after the game against Wales. See you.